That's right, folks. It's halftime. Georgia, Alabama. Georgia's leading Alabama right now. Big time. Ike sitting here watching the ball game. Boy, I tell you what, big time. It has been a heck of a ball game. You are loving it. I know you're loving it, man. I hate it, but don't worry about it. Nick Saban is promised the second half to take this thing back into play. Big time. Ike, what's your take?
Well, you know, I'm just so happy to be on the mic and talk about what I've just witnessed. A complete and utterly total control of the Crimson Tide. All I need for us to do is to go in and duplicate what we already have done and come out the second half, and after another 24 minutes, we will be the champion of the SEC.
All right, Ike, what's your take? What's your take, Ike?
Hey, I just want to let you know, man, like I said in the beginning of this broadcast that, you know, this was going to be a tough battle. And just like I expected that the defense was going to play well. Georgia been playing good defense, but this game is played in 4 quarters. 4 quarters, ladies and gentlemen. And however, at the end of this game, Alabama still will be victorious, but I like what Georgia's doing with this game, trying to slow it down and run the ball.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. All right, a little recap on the ball game. Georgia's 21, Alabama 14, halftime. Alabama scored 14 points in the second quarter, and Georgia scored 7 points in the first and 14 points in the second quarter. Turn this down a little bit of feedback right there.
DJ Tommy, let me ask you a question. Do you have any stats that you can pull up for us right quick?
What kind of stats you want? I mean, Alabama got 146 yards. Georgia showing 277. Time of possession goes to, let's see, we got here, the Georgia Bulldogs.
That's what I like to hear. That's definitely why we are leading this game. It's all, even besides Alabama making some gross errors and losing their composure at points in the game, this game has essentially boiled down to Georgia with their ball control through running the ball. Alabama has been thrown off by the passes and the completion of their passes, but the game has been centered around ball control through the ground game. If Georgia can continue to do what they've already done, I believe we can and will win this game.
Well, I will say this. Georgia had a couple good runs, but I believe that Alabama came back and, especially when they went down and scored, they went back to their run game. And when the game starts back up, I believe Alabama has the ball first. As long as they sit there and stick to and commit to the run, this game, I believe the tide will turn on this, and that's what I mean. That's why I say roll tide, because I believe the tide will turn on this, and Alabama just has to keep their game plan and run the ball. Right now, Georgia has been doing well on defense, but however, Alabama has been running the ball pretty successfully, and other than some little errors that Georgia did capitalize on, I believe Alabama should be happy in the position that they're in right now and with the score of the game.
Giving a little more recap on the ball game, Alabama has only had 7 first downs. Georgia's 15. For Georgia's 227 yards, Alabama 146. Even Georgia's winning in passing yards, 139-34. Rushing yard, Alabama stands out with 112. Georgia only has 88 penalties. Penalties have been hit pretty good. Unsurprisingly, Georgia has 4 penalties for 30 yards. Alabama has 1 for 5. And Alabama has that turnover, was a big turnover, almost a turnover at the end of the ball game, but turned into a touchdown for Alabama. Again, we said time of possession. Georgia has taken twice the number of time as Alabama. 20 minutes and 52 seconds of time of possession, which makes a big difference in this ball game compared to Alabama's 9 minutes and 8 seconds. That's a big change in the ball game, and you can't win like that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's the game right there. Time of possession, and I give him credit for mentioning this earlier. The more you run the ball, the more you keep Alabama's offense off the field. I suspect that Alabama will focus on stopping Georgia's run game. Run game is the key. Passes are fine as long as you get first down. I think in the college, am I correct, that every first down the clock stops? Am I right? In college football, the clock stops every first down.
Yeah,
Yes.
just long enough to
but
boost the chain.
so passes are good. It keep the defense
Right.
balanced, if you will. But running the ball is the key. If Georgia can continue to run the ball, they will have a great chance of winning this game. Let me say last before I let you respond. I have said earlier, I say this now. If we can keep this game close and even to have the lead in the fourth quarter, we have a very, very good chance of winning.
And I can agree with you on that. I believe that if Alabama comes up, but I believe Alabama's going to come out with a different ball game. I think you said earlier that once Alabama go into the locker room at halftime, Nick Saban's going to come out and they're going to have a whole different mindset of how they play this ball game. Alabama has controlled the time possession. I mean, looking at Georgia doing twice the number of minutes than Alabama, and that's making a big difference in this ball game. Georgia at the late in the second quarter, Alabama decided to run the ball, and they was productive with that, with the exception of that one fumble at the end zone. But it did turn into a touchdown. But Alabama has to maintain time possession. I think that's the main thing. That's the key to the ball game for them to win this ball game. Keep the hands out of Jake Fromm and keep that defense off the field, because I think. In total, in the fourth quarter, that Alabama's had that defense on the field about the same amount of minutes they had the first half. It's going to affect the team's performance. So we're looking for Nick Saban to come out, run the ball, take up time possession, and hopefully put more points on the board.
Well, I will say this: Alabama has to be fortunate for the turnovers they had, for the opportunities that they had, that this game could easily be tied or they could be ahead. And for the way that they're actually playing. True, we had Alabama has turnovers right there in scoring position. So this could have been a totally different game for not those turnovers. So Alabama has to feel very fortunate to be in the position that they are, because they're not playing a sound. I don't believe they're playing a sound game as Nick Saban expects them to be doing.
Yeah, especially for Alabama's type football. When you look at that last touchdown that they got, that was a luck touchdown, and one could argue that, well, they were down on the goal line and Georgia was in a bad position either way. But that was in favor of Alabama. Take that touchdown away, guys.
Yeah.
We talking about a 21-7 halftime game, even though that's not a lot. But Georgia's got to continue to play where they play. Let's say where I feel is Georgia have withstood the hit. Now they got to exert their will on this powerful team, because they're going to come out. They're going to come out fighting. They're going to come out like none before to try to show Georgia that you don't have an advantage on us in this game.
Well, let me jump in there real fast. Actually, that you're saying that Alabama fortunate to get that touchdown. Well, actually, that's a third down play. They still have another opportunity. Not only they have another opportunity, the player was clearly down.
But he fumbled the ball, though.
No, he fumbled the ball. No, you got to look at it. When he fumbled the ball, they knocked out his hand while he's down.
No, they didn't. Before he went down, they were fortunate. There was clearly a fumble. Alabama was fortunate to be able to the running back to gather the ball, and then it was a touchdown. If that didn't happen, Georgia would have had that. That would have been a touchback.
Well, if we want to go,
that would have been 2 points.
If we want to go tick for tack, then you're gonna say the same thing with if Alabama was sitting there and if they wouldn't have did the turnover. Then when they were down there in the scoring position, down there on the inside the 5-yard line, we can go tick for tack for all that. So yes, they might have been fortunate there, but you're saying that Alabama shouldn't have been fortunate on 2 different drives.
Well, an interception can happen. You act like Tutor can't throw an interception. He clearly threw an interception, got got his face busted in doing so.
Okay,
But we also realized Tua got hurt on the second play of the ball game. I think it was for Alabama early in the ball game. Undoubtedly, we know he was injured. He went to the 10 a couple different times, and I think they brought the backup quarterback in. I don't think that's really going to be a factor in this ball game. I still think he's going to be able to throw the ball game. I think they have a different game plan. I think Alabama just need to run the ball. I think to run the ball on Georgia. I think, like I said before, time of possession. I mean, 20 minutes and 52 seconds on one team compared to 9 minutes and 8 seconds. That is the factor of the ball game. Both teams made mistakes, but Alabama made more mistakes. But if Alabama could have evened that out to 10 minutes apiece, I think we'd have had a much different ball game right here.
We would have. We probably would have. So let's keep hope alive, Georgia fans. Many of you are watching us on Facebook. And other outlets where you kick the outlets out here.
Oh, guys, if you listen to the show, you can tell your friends to go in and check in. The Mic is Hot. Let me correct that. Spreaker.com. SPREAKER / The Mic is Hot. And we're live right now. Normally we do tape shows, but right now, since this game is live, we're live, we're watching. This is halftime, and we had a show earlier, a pregame show, and possibly going to have a postgame show with the game coming up. We're going to wrap up what happened and probably some of the things that happened throughout the ball game. But Spreaker.com, you can go to Facebook, you can go to YouTube.com, YouTube, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Twitter, Spotify. We're out there, folks. Just go to one outlet. Just make sure you put in The Mic is Hot. TheMikeishot, and you can get the show. If you miss the show, you can always go back and listen to it later. You can download the show at any point in time. Email us at themikeshot@gmail.com and with any comments, and we'll bring them up for you. But we'll see you guys at the end of the game, post-game show. Any final comments, Ike? Any final comments?
Well, I'm just going to end it off that if Georgia sits there and stay to their game plan, right now we're talking about 14-21 ball game where Alabama hasn't played their best. However, if they continue to stick with their game plan, run the ball, play good, solid defense, I believe they can be victorious in this game.
And Big Time, what say you?
Georgia, continue to do what you did the first half.
Okay, we got 2 Alabama fans, 1 Georgia fan, and he's kind of right now he's licking his chops, and but it's not over. We still got a lot of football left. Hey, I'm D. This is the Mic is Hot, the halftime show. Wrapping it up. We'll see you at the end of the ball game, and we're out.